Hi, hello, hi. So it's great to be here, and even so great that I don't know how to start. But let me, I put some notes just before I forget, because it's really overwhelming to be here. I have first to say thank you to Aaron Betsky and to Zajan, who just host me at Telesian. It was so great. I have been knowing a lot about this place, and then suddenly to be in this incredible place was like touching to me, and it's somehow like the food that I was looking for, and I didn't know that it existed. And I found it. So let's say thank you to Jason and James for this introduction. Of course, Philip, thank you so much. Thank you for getting me here and just to opening me the door to this incredible place. And now today I have a good friend here. That's why I'm like a little bit careful. You have to know that until somehow 10 years ago, I was not able to speak English. One of the reasons why I start to speak English is because I won the Aga Khan Award. And I was supposed to give a speech in 2004. And I recorded this speech by an assistant of my school. I graduated, by the way, in 2004. I had to hurry up to get the Aga Khan Award because they realized I was winning the prize. And so I had to hurry up. So I am hurrying up all the time to try to be good or at the top level of intellectuality. So what I'm trying to say is I recorded my speech, and when I was in Delhi, I had to speak. And I was standing in front of a big crowd of people. And I forgot my conference because I was nervous. So since that time, I swore to learn English. And what I'm trying to say today, I met 2008 Jenna McKnight, who was writing for Arc Record. And then she wanted to know more about my work, and we start to write. Normally, I would have someone to write and read my English, but Jenna, she was like fast, American, but very conscious. What I was doing to reply quick, I was copying how she introduced, how she started the email, and how she ends. So this way, I already learned English, and I learned to know about Arizona without coming here. So that's why it's a special day even for me to know her place, because she has been to my village. And for someone like me, it's important if people know your place. So it's a double honor to be here today. But I'm here to talk about architecture. And I am doing a mistake that everyone is doing. If we build, we have so much material. And we want to talk about all of them. And we want to talk about the newest material. And we forget what made us what we are. And so I will do a mistake today. I will not be able to talk a lot about Egando, but I will try, okay? This picture, I think you see the same picture. This picture is important to me. It's called dwarf, standing on the shoulder of giant. Is off? Is on? Okay. You want to? So by the way, I have two microphones. And again, I was saying every time when I'm here in the U.S., I say it's superlative in the U.S. But here, Phoenix is the superlative of the superlative because I have two micro. Is working now? Okay, good. So this picture means a lot. It's the dwarf standing on the shoulder of giant. I believe in this picture. It's talking about learning or building up on previous, discovery to find truth. So it means scientists, researchers, architects are benefiting from past generations, and I believe in that. It's not different in my village. This is the same thing that is happening there. So the most popular is speaking about it, it came from Isaac Newton was saying, if I was able to see further, it is because standing on the shoulder of giant. And I believe in that. You have to know that I left my village with no knowledge. And to go and then attend education. And so I belong to the very few people in my village that attend education. So, and because of that, I was able to access information. And potentially that is the reason why I'm here. But ladies and gentlemen, dear colleague, dear student, so what is if you came from a culture where knowledge is orally transmitted? So that is, I think, a weakness of the culture where I'm coming from. So knowledge just has been orally transmitted, maybe wrongly transferred, you understand? And so that is the dilemma, what I see in what we do. So this is a picture of the capital city, Ouagadougou. This picture was taken around 1930. It's an attempt to put the structure in the organic structure in the city. Because Ouagadougou may have seen, it's looked like this today. And here is my criticism. So we got a structure. Something was introduced to the country, and we keep replicating it without thinking about the reality in the country. So the structure you can see is being replicated the way that is eating all the fields that you need to grow corn to feed the people. And here is my criticism. I think I came from a culture where the actual leaders are weak. They're not able to come with visionary ideas to inspire their own people. So that is what I have discovered. And that is reality in Burkina Faso. Jenna will say, yes, this is true. You don't need to sit long. You just need to drive. You will see amazing pictures. I don't know if we have done this here today. The sheriff will stop us. Huh? What do you think? So, but this is reality in the culture where I'm coming from. And this is a school. And in a school like this, this is where I attend education. So it's a clear box. We will say very good, but inside it's very, very hot. And then please believe me, I was sitting in a class like this with more than 150 other kids. And today is not different. Even in the capital city, you still have school and classroom with a lot of kids. The problem is, in a class like this, it's very hot and it's dark, even when we have sun outside. So it's not a good place to teach kids. But I was happy to be able to attend education, however. So there are good inspirational structure. Like this is a Tugan. So in a Dogon country, it is a structure that looks like this. And then where you meet, where the elder meet, where knowledge has been transferred, where they decide about the future of the structure. So, but that is a great inspiration to me, to create a space for the community. And that is a big inspiration for me, how people come together, this is a mosque in Timbuktu, to fix this house of God when it gets broken and destroyed by the rain. And so I wanted to do the same in Gando. And I couldn't wait to get graduated, so to start to build. After I spent 3 years at university. I stopped to study and do own researches to build. And so the thing that you will see, the difficulties is a young man from a community where life expectation is far under 60, and even today. So if someone is older, he owns knowledge. And the big problem is if you are younger, and you have to convince that community, is not easy. So that's why you will see me in the past time in the middle here trying to dig the soil and to say, listen, that is what we have. if we want to develop, we have to build up on what we have the most. And it was clay. And then you keep explaining, and sometimes people understand. Here, the pictures that I'm showing you is when we already start to build the extension of the school. You will see women just carrying on stone to build, to help me build the school. And that is the very first school that I built as a student. It was built in 2000. It started in 2002 and finished in 2001, using completely clay from Gando, and using a roof and then a ceiling made out of clay bricks. This was something very new to my community and to myself. A younger community member went abroad to study and come back with knowledge. It's never seen. It's like a miracle. So that was like the key for my own career. So I had to do everything to convince. So everything. So that is the school, right, left, I don't know how. But on the other side, you see what I have introduced to my culture. But, dear colleague, how do you explain architecture, drawings, and even engineering to people who are neither able to read nor write? I make sketches, very simple like this one, and the section is already the project. So you don't need more. And you will see me pinning up little paper written in French, like with a number of layers. After 5 layers, put a piece of rubber for the door or for the window, and that is enough. So, and they just do it. The people are so talented. They really understand. And so, with the idea of ventilation, and that is the school. Even today, it still look like the same. And the important is it comes out with any maintenance. All the school built by government, after 3 years, it breaks down. No one cares. And I grew up seeing this, and I didn't like it. I wanted just to make it better. So, again, how do you explain engineering? Here is an example how we build. We build mock-up, like 1-2-1, a big mock-up, and normally the guy with the hat, it's me. I will just jump on the top of this piece of, structure to show to my people that it's safe, And the good thing is, if there is no crack, it's a good technology. So it's not the Francis that we know. He have learned something magical, And so that's how we do. You see this guy with the red cap. So you have to know that the entire community is watching you. What will happen? And always I have like heart breaking, beep, beep, beep. It should work. And sometimes it's not enough. For example, when we was building the teacher housing, there was little housing, and I did the test. And we was at the beginning 7 people. At the end, I may say half of the village wanted to climb on top and show that it is standing. But engineering has limitation. What do? So you tell them, no, don't come up. Oh, it's not good. It's gonna crack. So you have to just find a way how to get them down without destroying the building, to just keep the credibility. In culture, where you don't write, where knowledge is orally transmitted, the memory of people is very, very long. If it crashes, someone, maybe 100 years after me, 200 or 300 years, will try to do something, and someone will tell him, you had a relative that was saying he knows everything, and he did it. It crashed. So you're blocked. You cannot prove the danger. So that is no building regulation, but that is the law, unspoken. And I have to stand and work with them and to prove that it worked. And then that is it. After the test, you can build a huge arch, like you could see, a vault. And the kids sit inside, like a little bit, shy because of the camera. So I was very happy with that idea to start to build with the community. People love it, and we was happy to build teacher housing and other infrastructure, even women's center, And now we're still building a high school. But I want to say I was very, very privileged to be able to do this. First, because I had the chance to attend education and to go to Germany and to study. And my question at that time was, what do you do with that privilege? You know, stay in Germany, just use it, earn money? Yes, earning money is great. But what about my community? And so having had the courage to just do this opened me, of course, the chance to even to come to you and talk to you. So we start to do many other projects. This is a little museum that I did in Mopti for the Aga Khan. The client was the Aga Khan. The funny story was I was already building a park with infrastructure for them, for the Aga Khan Foundation. And suddenly they asked me if I would consider building a little museum in Mopti. Having been working with them, I knew it's going to be a hard task. So I asked them, when are you planning to inaugurate the building? And they told me in 4 months. I just blocked the phone saying I'm not a supermarket. So the fact with these people from the Aga Khan, if you know, ranking, you say you want to have something that is the quality that you can achieve, so they want you to achieve like the very highest. And I knew it's going to be engaging for me, so I know that it's not easy. I said, no. But then they convinced me to do it, and I did it. And we put like little vault. I mean, for you guys, or you gentlemen, you ladies, it seemed like cold coffee from yesterday. But it isn't. You understand? Mali has like more than half of the country is a desert. And they build big monument, mosque. What they do for the ceiling is cutting wood to build the ceilings. In the desert, you cut all of the trees. So what I have introduced using steel and vault made out of clay is like innovation per excellence. It's the greatest innovation you could do this in this area. So, and that's why this building has that value. And by the way, I built a museum on clay building. So, and then I was in Burkina, kept building. Suddenly, the West started to become aware about my work. I am like the micro have to move. Until I started with installations. So they was asking me, that is one that I did in Louisiana, Museum for Modern Art. First, there was a story. I was struggling in Gando. And suddenly, I get an invitation, first to speak or to meet someone. I say, in Louisiana. It's far away. Again, Gando, Berlin, America. It's great to be in America. There is excitement, there is energy. But just to speak, no, it wasn't. It was just in Copenhagen, 1 hour far from Berlin. And I met this gentleman in Durban. And he just came very polite and said, Francis, I tried to invite you, and you couldn't come because, you know, I want to offer you to design a gathering space in my museum. I said, what? Louisiana? I thought it was in the US, and it's far away, you know, and my English is not that good. So, but it was nearby. And then I accepted, and he was talking about, the topic was Africa, architecture, design, and, you know, poetry, everything was inside. And then I just thought, if they want me, they want something from my culture. So I was thinking about how people gather together under a tree during the day just to talk, just to exchange, just to be together. It is the kindergarten, is everything together. So I said, this is what I'm going to build. And we start to think with my team in Berlin, putting elements together and creating a canopy, try to talk about the tree. And then what we did, I wanted to use the cheapest wood they have. Scandinavia is for everyone living in Europe, the El Dorado of wood, you know. And I was saying, okay, what can you do with wood in this place? They have been just dealing with wood. But suddenly I said, okay, maybe let's use wooden logs, the cheapest wood that I can have. And that is what I asked for. And we start to work. And to build in the West sometimes is good to me because knowledge. I don't need to struggle like in Gando. Here, this gentleman is already cutting the wooden logs to put them in bundle, and we was able to create an installation like that, using the most available and easy material. And I realized, wow, the Scandinavian people, they love it. It is possible to come from Gando and inspire them. So architecture is a tool for you guys just to inspire. Just use it. So don't be afraid, okay? And by the way, this project is bringing me my most important project in the US, in Montana. If I am fast enough, I will show you this project like exclusive, okay? Yeah. Okay, so but let's go back to Gando. I have been doing a lot of installation. I even did a shop in Buckminster, a dome at Vitra design site. I did design for Vitra and Camper at the same time. So, and this project won a lot of awards, but that is not the issue now. Let me bring you back to Burkina Faso. Here is a project. It's a high school. The client is a couple from Munich. I have learned that Marcus, the husband, lost his brother in the US by an accident. And he tried to put a lot of effort to give other kids in Africa a chance in life. He was saying his brother was talented. He loved mathematics and everything. And he wanted just to give something, and they contacted me talking about build a school where people can just be pushed further to give higher education. I said, okay, well, let's think about it. And here I was thinking about the compound in Burkina Faso. So, like a round-like structure. I love that because it gives you safety, security, and it's warm to be inside. And so, but here, like every time, if I have a new project in Burkina, I try to improve, for example, the ventilation system. I don't want my people to end up replicating a model that I have delivered. So here, I wanted to enhance the ventilation and using a wind tower in a very different way. So that is the design. And land is a big issue in Africa. The population growth is a big issue. So some people have a lot of kids, and later to inherit the land become a problem. So be careful. If you are in Africa and they show you a plot and say, this is my plot, build a high school for me, be careful. It may be that you start to build, the building will be like 2 meters high or having even a roof, and someone comes and say, wow, thank you so much, it's my piece of land. Thank you for the school. So you have to check. So what I do is to go and really check, talk to the elders. That is important, so they know about everything. And if everything is clear, I take control under the thing. In this project, we wanted to use laterite. Laterite is a magical stone or piece of clay. You dig it out of the soil, it is soft. If it comes out, it becomes hard with the time. So really try to check. This is wonderful. That is how we extract it. And laterite is used in Burkina Faso where you have it for hundreds of years. But the thing is, people consider it as old material, like clay. They refuse it. But here, what I do is to improve the quality. What I do is to cut it with the machine. And the cutting just changes the quality of that material. It becomes something modern. So sometimes it's like a little trick, a little change, and people believe in it. And so that is what we do. This is a site. We start to build, and the towers are growing, like you can see. But what you see here is a building site. The process is more than just a building process. It becomes an event. In some region, you have even no movie, no TV, sometimes radio. But then, when we build, it becomes something amazing. People just came to watch, like this group of people sitting, women and kids, to watch what's happening. And so we work even night. Here, another element that we wanted to use is wood, eucalyptus wood. In Burkina Faso, it is used just for scaffolding. and they threw it away. No, they burn it, or for temporary shelter. What I wanted to do is to use it and give another meaning, you know. We have no other wood. So we bring the wood inside, we cut them, and what you see will be used to wrap the wood, like you can see, this way, and wrap it with a flat steel. I think the guys from the architecture school at Telesian will understand what I'm trying to do here. So you put it together to create like a facade, sunscreen. So another element in this project was it can be very, very hot in Burkina Faso. So what I wanted to do is to just a little bit put humidity inside the classroom, so to create a sort of comfort, because there is no money for aircon. So forget it. Forget it. You have to deal with the element. And here, look what we do. With the leftover from the facade, we create benches that you can sit, sittings. And then there are the benches. And what you see, very quick, you put the bucket on the knee of this wonderful furniture, and through evaporation, you bring humidity inside the classroom. For a country like Burkina Faso, which belongs to the poorest in the world for the moment, because I believe in the wheel of fortuna. So it's turning, you understand. Maybe in 100 years, so you will join us in Burkina. I don't know, you know. But until then, we have to use what we have, the most available things to just cool down our classes. That is another example. So to build is not enough. The architect has to become a landscaper. Everything in one. So here, look at. This is a rainy season already. So I'm trying to plant trees. So nice sketches, and using pot to put water just to irrigate. And what's happening is we just order the pots, they're available. And then the most important thing is how you plant the tree in a very hard soil. What we do is to dig a hole, sometimes 2 meter diameter and 2 meter deep. And you fill it with earth. But you will say, it is an easy task. Yes, it is. But dear colleague, dear student, ladies and gentlemen, how do you explain to an individual whose life expectation is under 60, far under 60, to do that much effort and put a tree that he even will not see grow? That is always a big challenge. It sounds easy, but that is a big challenge. And you will see me trying myself, and older watching to me, and so you pass on knowledge. You know, we are able to do that. I'm able to do that because I have access to information. You understand? And now we have to invest ourselves for the future. My people don't know that. They think the nature will make everything all right. It's not true. Population growth, you know, global warming, they don't know about all of that. So that's why planting a tree this way is so fundamental. And then look at, it goes, like the fence, we put them, and that is the building, taking by, this picture you get them from Ivan. If you look at, it looks like a compound, but a very modern one. So the tower I will show you later. That is the picture almost now. I love this picture. It's full of life. The client not. Okay, build parking for bicycles. Say, okay, I'm an architect. Let go. I don't say, oh, let's do it like that. No, we want to build. I want to give a job to my people. So those buildings that you will be seeing is not in Gando, is outside Gando. So I have like, while talking to you, I have like a team for more than 200 young people, and you'll be shocked. But don't think I am special. I am not. I'm simply lucky that I had access to information. But all of these people was trained by myself. And now they train each other. And if you go to a building site, we take the most, smart people. They start to work. And if they're good, we take them. The team is growing. So that's how we work. And then, so that is the building now. the trees are growing. Okay? You can see. The kids are using the building, and it's shaded. And so they could use it using the bench, or, just leaning back in the traditional way and have food, And this is it. And the towers, it really looks amazing. But not only. If I go to visit, I understand, I can listen where the kids are talking about windsurfing. It is sucking the air. So I feel, okay, I did it good. So, and it worked. And you see the happiness, you really know that it's not just for the camera, it's coming from inside. So that's what I can do, for the future of people and creating space in Burkina. And so people start to settle. That is the big issue around the structure. Like you can see, they start to just build a house to stay there. You cannot say no. And there is another thing, when I have a new piece of a project, I say to the client, try to secure land around. You're going to need it. And this is the building by night. And that is the building also by night. By night, so with light, we provide education for adults. Because in Burkina, I don't know exactly. So because of the Millennium Goal, governments in this place of the world try to make the statistic nice. But I know that still now more than 70% of the population in Burkina Faso are neither able to read nor write. Why it is reading important? It is important to access information. That is why it is. And so to provide by night, so class to the neighborhood, you're not just building for the few, for the kids, you're building for the community. And so parallel, that is a project we even don't have time to publish. Or maybe Jana McKnight didn't know about it. That is an orphanage we just created, so close by. I went to this site to this city, Koudougou, because of this project. And then I started the high school, and I had to make both clients happy. But you know which one is my favorite. But this is already concluded, and it's amazing. Like 200 orphans are going, and the project is supposed to grow. So in Gando is where my heart is, so be honest. So like some of you is Arizona. But the project in Gando, I have to finance them. So if I do project in the West, I put the money very quick there and just do project. But at the beginning, I had a foundation. Let me tell you one story. The foundation name was Schulbausteine für Gando e.V. I don't know if you understand what it is. So say this to an American. Yeah, say it to you. So I have a foundation name is Schulbausteine für Gando e.V. They're going to say, wow, nice, Francis. So a couple of years ago, some friends start to say, why you don't change the name? Because no one see the connection to your architecture. But that is the backbones of your work. And Kéré Foundation, it sounds great. Cool. So we changed it to that name. I don't know if we're going to have more funding, but the funding was like a tricky thing. So if I raise money through the foundation, this is what I do. I go back to Gando, or how I raise money. You will see me even going back and go to make we call it working with kids to run. So I don't need extra to do gym. I just go and run with these little kids. If I'm running with them, they can run 20 kilometers. Believe me, really. So the energy is in the air. And then I am the one that is like afterward and just do like, I am good. But that helped me to raise money in a very funny way. And if I have the money, I do it like this. I just go back to the community, look for a project that we have to do. This time is like a library that we wanted to do. And the women, they're incredible. Everywhere in the world. But in Africa, much, much, much better. No, listening. Without the women, there is no Africa. So, really. So if the life condition become worse, the men move first. It's first the men move. The women will stay home with the kids. You understand? And in my work, the women will come, they will sing, they will make the clay floor, and you're going to be shocked. Under the music, they will just do the hard work. And here, look at the piece what I do, and that is like half of my team also in the village. And the women will bring the pots. I am marking the pot, and then we cut the pot. So, and if the cut is good, we just go over to a sort of a semi-industrial production. We put them like this, and we lay them on the top of the roof, and we pour concrete on it, so to create like opening for ventilation and for light. So I even have no time to update this, or I even didn't have time to say even go back to Burkina. But that is like how I work. This is amazing because my people just say, wow, he destroyed, but at the end, something came and is great. And then what if I came then and tried to do something, they say, okay, we know him. He do like he's playing. At the end, something strong will emerge. You understand? If you remember, being like a small community member, a younger community member, and you come and try to convince, and suddenly they allowed you to do like crazy things. So I'm thankful to my community, you know. And then suddenly there's no little installation anymore. I got the email, I remember exactly, and I was like going to go to Burkina Faso, coming out from the office. And it was Adriana, so from Milwaukee, who was working for me for 4 years. She says, Francis, you got an invitation to submit an idea for the Serpentine Pavilion 2017. I say, okay, it's nice. So what does it deal with me? What is about? And I was going, and she went to the elevator. Francis, it is addressing you. You should submit something. I said, okay. Do you think? So, like you don't think, you know? And she says, yes, it's signed by your friend, Hans Jurek. I say, okay, write him, I am thankful, and so we're going to see. And I just left. On the way in the aircraft, I start to think, because the funny thing is, you have to know, I have never, ever visited a Serpentine Pavilion before. No. And so suddenly it came. And so, okay. I was concerned. I landed in Paris. I called her back and said, do you think it is serious? It's like we should do something? She says, yes. So, and we wrote, and we get, I will do. And then we got the reply. And then 2 days in Burkina, I come back, and I say again, you know, you guys, you have to listen. If they invite us, it's not that I'm a crazy engineer, not crazy, a good engineer, or a good architect. So let's tell a story. So, and that's how I start. And we talk about, again, a tree. Inspiration, the tree, the figure of the tree in the landscape. I love trees. And what I love in trees is the tree is creating a sort of shelter without closing you up from the outside world, you understand? And it is open. So I love it. And the canopy is protecting you. So I wrote this, and there was, they replied positively back. I said, okay. So like try to escape, because you were saying it's too intellectual for you, but suddenly there was an interest. And we keep pushing, and you know, under the tree, community can live and do everything together. And so I started to do the sketches, and I was surprised that I loved the sketches. I said, okay, so they want to have me. And so was talking about the roof for community, space for community to live. However, too much stories, but thinking about the way I just make big roofs and then try to work. And I was happy to work with Ecom and an engineer based in London. I know that I have part in the US also. And I wanted to just span with thin, very tiny sections. And just create a sort of crane, you know, it just goes around and then make a big canopy. And the Serpentine is very, very demanding. I can tell you, I warn you, if they invite you, be careful. Yeah. But the good thing is they're very supportive, really like, energy, really unbelievable. Short time, we have to do everything. So my jet lag was double, being tired was double, and I have realized if I'm tired, I'm much more concentrated. So it helps. So you have to build because of the budget, and then the time is really tight. You understand, tight. And so we have to build everything up with stage one in Yorkshire to try if it will stand and bring it to London. So another idea was to use textile. So I love textile. And then the brick, the traditional brick in the Serpentine Gallery. And then I do a lot of model, by the way, because, I mean, the drawings are nice. But are you always sure that the drawings are going to be that what you expect to be? No. So that's why you hide yourself. First, you hide yourself, you make a lot of mock-up. So that is how we do it, very quick. So to put, components to see if it works. This is, by the way, in the courtyard of where my office is. And to check it's going to work if you just do this triangular stuff and you're going to curve. So the drawing cannot show everything. And then when everything was clear, we went over to use wood and just make it. We had to protect the wood against weathering. I know that in my culture, just have a water. In my culture, not all the time they have clothes. And for men, in the village, it was like in past time, they have one piece of clothes. It was blue, indigo blue. And then if you had, as a boy, if you had a date, I'm talking about the man, if you have a date, you're going to go to Philip and lend this piece of clothes, you dress, and go to meet, the matter of your heart. And you're gonna walk through the landscape, and from very far, everyone will see you in this blue, beautiful blue. And every man will know this lady is taken. There is no way to go. So when I knew that everyone was clear, that I was really selected, they're gonna build it, I was thinking, how do you paint? Do you call the fabricator and ask for a color? I said, no, I want to have indigo blue. And there was a struggle. Blue is the light. The pavilion is meant to just demonstrate architecture. It has to be beautiful and photogenic. And there was a struggle. So Sir Roger just already said, I heard later, he said, that what Francis is designing is, I know it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to just come inside and celebrate. And then I have to struggle. Later, David Adjei came, and he was saying, Francis, I think you're right with the blue. I think it's going to be good. But you have to try and just to check. So it was a long, long way, and we did it. And the roof, the components together, and that is the finest, like an UFO landed at Kensington Gardens. But it's not an UFO. It's a community center, a meeting point. I didn't want the pavilion to be just photogenic. I wanted people to use it, and that was the big debate. I wanted people to sit and lean back. The wall, I didn't care. That is how I am. It has to have a sense. And it has a kindergarten. You can see this little sculpture close by. So if you know the struggle to get this slide be done with Westminster, and then we understand. But we did it. And you could stand there and see kids sliding down and the parent happy. I wanted to have it much higher, but it was not possible. But it was. It plays the role. And it has a cafe, a cafeteria, so for the community inside. And it has a meeting place for the community. You will see older people or young people. People will come to sit and watch the pavilion, and suddenly they start to interact. This is what I wanted to achieve. I will go, I see it, okay, I'm happy, I go again. And that is the pavilion. It was supposed to be a beacon again from Burkina Faso. There is no light at night. There is no electricity. as a young boy, even myself, you have to climb to the higher point. There will be a little hill and watch around. So if you see light, you watch a little bit longer, stay for half an hour. If there is still light, you know that is a party. That is where you will go. And if you wait a little bit, you will see many, many lights going to that place, you know, it's sure. So, and that is where you go. So I wanted somehow the pavilion to be like this, a beacon of light to attract the people in London. But you know, at 10, even 9, they shut down the Serpentine, the garden. They have to close. But then they did a lot of exception because many, many parties happening there, and they was really surprised. So I would like to end going to Burkina. I didn't have a notion of time. I hope to a discussion. So Burkina Faso is incredible. It's like many, many countries in Africa. The elite, the leader, really miss innovation and inspiration to innovate, to get people be inspired. They miss it, ideas. So it happened very quick that you have a crisis. That was a little revolt in Burkina Faso, in Ouagadougou in specific. So what happened is you have many, many young people, and they have access to information. So here, there is a president. He has been leading the country for 29 years. And suddenly, he wanted to change the constitution to make him president alive. So people stand against it. And what happened is they kick him out of power. And by the way, they burned down the Parliament House, which was connected to dictatorship. And that is the reality. But now, what has this to deal with architecture? So I was suddenly called by a group of intellectual activists, musicians, everyone was there. So Francis, we want you to think about a new Parliament House. So I said, really? A new Parliament House? Yes. We want it to be open, transparent for the people. Not what we want. We want to add a museum and however. They wanted to have everything in one. Okay. The big task is, you know they will not have the money to do it, even if they like to. And you know, if you say no, you're not like, you understand, you wake up and you realize you have become another personality than you. For my people in Burkina, I am a famous guy. But I don't care. I like to go in the corner with friends, have a glass of wine or of water and laugh and eat a lot and go. I don't care about. But for them, you have become important. If you say no, he is famous and he just refuses to invest himself as a son of the country, to invest himself for the country. So it's like a bad criticism you cannot escape. So what I wanted to do here, I know it is a tricky task. I said, okay, so you want a Parliament House? I want to make you one. So this is Arbre à Palabre, the tree of palaver. So that is where they meet, everyone, every time. This is a classroom. It can be a hospital. It can be a Parliament House. So that is where they debate, they stay. So that is one element that I want to see in the Parliament House. So we started around this, and then I tried to just develop an idea that you can see. So I wanted to build a huge pyramid. Yeah, and I was happy that I saw today with Philip the Pidrock Museum of Art today. So, you know, it's an easy idea. So why I wanted to have it like this, it's like with a lot of ideas, you know, if I build it, I have to think about the climate. But the thing is, first I wanted to raise people perspective. So in Burkina Faso, not everyone is flying. To be able to see your country from above, you know, from up, you don't. And if you want to see down, you have to climb a tree. So there is not a lot of mountains. So they don't see the structure of the city, which is flat with a lot of dust. They don't see that. So I wanted to give them another view of the city. Create a pyramid. By the way, pyramid was built in Africa. I mean, come on. But with that idea, I combine a lot of thought that are real. So knowing if I go to present the project, they will say, impossible, Francis. I went to Ouagadougou, knowing they will refuse it, to meet first my group. They said, no, Francis, No leader in Burkina will accept that. No one wants you to watch down when they will be talking. And I start to laugh very secretly, So being a little bit happy. So, I reached my goal. Then there was the idea, on the top of the pyramid, you should grow corn. It's not a contemplative garden. We are based on agriculture. Show the people new way to grow corn. That will be a parliament house for Burkina Faso, We're not America, So we're not like building out cars, and we don't have that. So show something that deal with the people. And by the way, if people adapt it like a public space, by the next revolution that will come soon, I know it, they will not destroy it. That was my idea. So, okay, I went to present the project to the parliament president, and he loved the project. He started in good French, Mr. Kéré, my dear friend, he added, Monsieur Kéré, cher ami, I love the project. And I said, ooh, what a... So, a lot of work. So make it a little bit smaller, And I went back to the office, and everyone was almost happy. Did you kill them? I said, no, they kill us. We have to work hard. Yeah. And we keep pushing the idea, pushing and pushing. And so it's like a zoom. It's about the focus. Even if an idea in the world where I'm coming from, the focus to the West is so strong. There was an idea. We made a rendering. The people in my office, they knew that I met President Obama because I work for his family in Kenya. And I didn't want the pictures to be visible because I don't want people to think I'm successful, you understand? But then someone took the picture, just cut me, and started to make a collage with the parliament president in Burkina Faso. So at the beginning saying, if the parliament president sees this picture, Francis, he's going to find the money. He's going to believe if you finish the build, President Obama will come to Burkina Faso and check him the hand. So, yeah, well done. And I say, okay. So then we just took the other picture from me. We changed, we looked for a better picture. We put it together. And it works. It works. In Burkina Faso, everyone started to talk about the Parliament House. Certainly, even on the road, people talk about me. The Guardian made a long article about this project and going back and talk about the revolution in Burkina Faso for 30 years. So it has become an important project. And then we keep struggling. And one day I come back to the office, and again, someone was very happy, like really doing like this. So I said, what is happening? I checked my jacket. So did I dress wrong again? So how are my eyes looking? So what's happening? So Francis, the US has a new president. You have to change the picture. So thank you very much.